Hello, all of you vaingloriously wonderful people. Systemera, the developers of Astroneer, announced their next game today, and it is set within the same universe as Astroneer. Watching the short teaser trailer, it does not take long to see the influence. Starseeker, Astroneer Expeditions, shares a very similar art style as Astroneer. So let's dive into the small amount of information we have. I think it would be easier to start with what we know this game is not. This is not a direct sequel to Astroneer, so it is also not Astroneer 2. It also does not mean Astroneer is being retired. In the announcement on Discord, Systemera stated that they are doubling down on their team to continue supporting Astroneer and that it will continue receiving updates. So what is Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions? Well, that's a good question. Everything on the Steam page for it, which you should totally go wishlist the game right now, is all directly out of Marketing 101, how to say absolutely nothing about a game in as many words as possible. I quote, Starseeker is a new game set within the Astroneer universe with a focus on discovery, cooperative expeditions, and camaraderie. It goes on to say players will need to work together with the entire crew of the ESS Starseeker, an ever-evolving space station, to complete planet-wide objectives across a multitude of star systems. There are blurbs about cutting-edge technology, advanced tools, upgrades to capabilities, and more. But none of it really says anything about what sort of game it actually is. The Steam listing mentions single-player gameplay, but everything in the screenshots and trailer, even the game description itself, speak to this being an online cooperative game of some sort. I have no idea how representative of actual gameplay any of what we have seen today is, but each shot is filled with quite a few players milling about. Given the sheer number that we see in some shots, I'm led to wonder if Starseeker will support a significantly larger number of players than Astroneer. It will be interesting to find out how single player and multiplayer will work, and how they might be connected together. Starseeker appears to be adding some things that Astroneer players wanted from that game. First, and we've already heard this part earlier, but we will not be limited to a single star system. The vague reference to gameplay is that we will work together to complete planet-wide objectives across a multitude of star systems. How many star systems is anyone's guess. Toward the end of the teaser, we see a shuttle blasting off, a planet appears in the background, and the rest is just vast empty space. Looking at this shot, I'm guessing that this is aboard the ESS Starseeker itself, given that it is described as a space station. From what we can see, this place is massive. I count at least 40 characters in this shot, and they are all dwarfed by the size of this structure. There is a huge canopy of windows looking out into space, incredibly large modules that players are interacting with, and even a huge internal structure off to the side that has a couple of players peering down onto the scene below. Since it is mentioned as the heart of the crew, I'm guessing this is the central gathering point for players to plan out missions or just hang out. One thing that does worry me a bit in the description of the game is this: planet-wide objectives. Astroneer has, for better or for worse, become a game of fetch quests. Go to place X, get thing Y as your objective, receive reward Z. Repeat over and over with different things in different places and different rewards, but it is incredibly repetitive. I hope Starseeker is not a repeat of that uninspired gameplay loop. I'm fine with being sent on a quest, but I really hope it's more along the lines of go to a planet, identify and analyze resources and life forms, then utilize those to go and build something or repair something or unlock something, and then that becomes just one of many pieces to completing a much larger, overarching objective. And hopefully it all works together to provide a much better feeling of accomplishment than Astroneer's missions do. Because those are essentially, yay, I completed a checklist and unlocked a recipe, but they do very little to integrate well into the reasons for playing the game. Something else present in this teaser that players have wanted to see in Astroneer is water. Well, liquids at least. In one shot, we can see some players swimming around for what appears to be pure recreation. One of the characters even pulls off a pretty impressive belly flop right into the water. And there's even a nice little waterfall in the background with 2 players scaling up the side of the cliff next to it. In one of the stills from Steam, we see a couple of characters diving in an underwater region that is teeming with plants and even fish. Speaking of those fish, several life forms make an appearance in the teaser. There's a cute little carrot or leek looking thingy that seems to be a bit scared and runs off at first, but later we see another one kind of chilling with a player up above the lake. There's a green dinosaurish duder that seems to be chasing some characters, with yet more players chasing after it. And then there's this guy who's all stealth-like as a rock formation and suddenly wakes up and lets out a terrific and adorable roar. So yeah, it looks like the worlds of Starseeker are teeming with life beyond just a few hostile plants. What we do not see is any combat with these life forms. The players seem to react with fear to some of them, while other life forms seem to run off when a player approaches. But nothing in the teaser indicates how we will truly interact with any of these life forms. Looking at this shot, again with the cute yet fierce rock creature thingy with all the teeth, we see variations not only in the backpack, but also the tools that are equipped. Backpacks have different shapes and what appear to be different utility. They feature different number and sizes of antennas, and the tools are unique as well. The one to the left seems to have a scanner or something similar equipped, while the one towards the middle looks to have a flamethrower? Yeah, okay. If it is a flamethrower, count me in. Of course, there is also a moment where a couple of players are seen flying about with wings that appear attached to the sides of the backpack. I found this one interesting because I wonder if that's something we can upgrade to over time. Those wings do not appear to be occupying either of the 2 slots at the top of the backpack the way a jetpack would in Astroneer, so I am hopeful that this, along with the variety of tools we saw a moment ago, indicates that we will be able to upgrade and improve our backpack to have added utility or even increased storage. We also see a new shuttle model that carries over some familiar elements from Astroneer while also being its own unique thing. And in several shots of not only the players but also the ESS Starseeker, we see an art style and module design language that will be familiar to anyone who has played Astroneer. We can even see a fairly large variety of spacesuits. Yet nothing appears as if it was just lifted wholesale out of Astroneer and plopped down into Starseeker, and that's a good thing. I love Astroneer, despite my criticisms of it, but I am definitely ready for a new adventure. 2 things I did not recall seeing anywhere in the teaser were any type of terrain manipulation or resource collection. We see some players investigating a large mineral structure and later holding a piece that looks like it could have come from a similar structure. We can see players scanning objects with tools attached to their backpack. But I do not recall seeing any moment where any terrain was manipulated in any way, nor do I remember seeing any resource gathering conducted in the way it is within Astroneer. If there isn't any terrain manipulation, I wonder how players will feel about it. I know the True Flight gang will miss the opportunity to build insane things from dirt. For me, I always enjoyed being able to create a bridge across a ravine or dig a ramp and tunnel system to reach resources underground. Terrain manipulation is such a big, integral part of Astroneer, it's hard to imagine a game set in the same universe that would not include that element. But if it doesn't, it won't be a deal breaker for me. As long as I can get that wingsuit looking apparatus early on, I won't really care if I can't build a bridge from some soil. Wow, that is quite a bit unpacked from a short trailer and a bunch of non-specific marketing speak on a Steam page. I could probably go on for hours, analyzing the teaser frame by frame, talking about all of the various elements I see. But that's where you come in. I've let the trailer play through a couple of times, so it is your turn to point things out. Head down to the comments below with a timestamp from the video and tell us all what you have noticed in this short teaser. And feel free to offer your own insights to things I have pointed out today, or just drop an emoji into a comment that sums up how you feel about what you've seen today. The Astroneer community has always been incredibly kind to me, and I expect that Starseeker will see thousands of new players joining in. To that end, I say welcome, and I want to let you know that I will do my best to ensure I cover Starseeker news in the same way that I have covered Astroneer over the years. When there are leaks or trailers or other information, I'll be here to break it down and discuss it. When Systemera has live streams for Starseeker, I will provide a recap of that stream and talk about what they showed us. And of course, the first moment I am able, I will show off gameplay from Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions. So be sure to get subscribed so you don't miss any of the coverage. Of course, my channel is also home to a ton of great Astroneer content, including Astroneer Academy. Haven't heard of it? It is the most comprehensive guide and informational series for Astroneer in the entire galaxy. Check it out. Don't forget to wishlist Starseeker on Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch 2 when that console arrives this summer. And if you want to try to get into early beta access to the game, check out StarseekerGame.com for more information. That wraps it up for me here today. So until next time, I'm Brandon, reminding you to stay vainglorious.